So this is another Honda. I had to wound up doing some motor work. I didn't document this one because it was just, I didn't know if it was going to work or not. I was curious about putting rod bearings in this one too, just like the Honda Civic, to see if it'll work. That's in my last video. But I got the motor in here. I got 30 miles on it. This motor has 95,000 miles. I got it from LKQ Keystone. I've been dealing with them for 10 plus years. Never had any problems with their motors or transmissions. But everything I do get is below 100,000 miles, between 70 and 100. This engine has 95,000 miles. Looks awesome. Did time belt water pump, valve cover gasket, new plugs, wires. It new hoses. They were swelling, so everything, he's good. He's fine for another 70,000 miles. Just got to keep the oil changes up. That's it. So anyway, while we're here today, not talking about the motor so much, but what's going on. In the midst of repairing, you know there's going to be some issues. I've never worked on this car. The AC don't work. The AC is not working because of a leak. And I'll give you a couple seconds to determine where you think that leak probably came from. And I'm pretty sure some of you veterans out there probably know what had happened. I mean, if it's leaking, you know, it could be a condenser, it could be a line, could be an AC compressor, but something's on here ain't right. So let me give you the answer. Some certain aftermarket part that's on here rubbed on a certain thing and caused a certain problem, which is this air intake. So this cold air intake, yeah, looks nice and fancy. It's not that clean. I didn't put a lot of emphasis clean it. I did take this to the car wash. It was worse than this. The transmission, that is. The engine that I normally get from Keystone, they're all clean. But I still clean it anyway. Transmission was gunked up really bad with oil. The intake rubbed on the low pressure side, making a hole. Let me show you what this looks like. Here's where it rubbed up around. Kind of see it has like a nice indentation here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it that well. But long story short, there's our problem. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some air pressure in here, throw some what am I gonna throw on here? I'm gonna throw some Windex on it to get it to bubble up, show you the hole, and we're gonna try something to see if it works. It's very dangerous, so you don't do what I do. I don't have good habits, and it's just a trial thing. I'm not sure if this is even gonna work out. I don't know, but just don't do what I do. If I screw up, then it's documented. I don't like to glorify myself and myself look more than anything than what I am in real life, because I screw up. Trust me, I make a lot of bad decisions. If you're curious, this is the device I made. I just took an old gauge, put a brass fitting in there with the appropriate threads to fit into the female end, and just put a hose clamp on it. It is blowing a little hard, but you can see it right there. So it's like right there. I'm gonna put a mark there just so I can indicate it. And then we're gonna try to braze it. I can't guarantee it's gonna work, but as small as the spot is, and as low as the pressure is, I think it's worth trying. And just to add, now when activated, the low side does support only about 40 psi. However, when static and off, it's going to be around like 100 plus. So it's as small as the hole is, I think the brazing's going to work. But if I got an opportunity to patch it up, let's see what happens. So what I'm gonna do, just to make sure that I don't totally destroy things, I'm going to put my gauges on the low side and let it vent off just in case any type of pressure develops. I have the gauges hooked up, I just don't have them open. So I'm just going to use some 80 grit sandpaper here to clean the area off that I want it to stick. It's very soft. And clean the area off pretty good. There's the mark right there. I'm just going to use the Windex to clean it off. It's not that serious. As long as it gets the oils off. I'm going to put a mark also so I can indicate the area. Alright, I got the low side being relieved. Now I will say the brazen rod that I do have from Harbor Freight, I don't know the number, so I just know that it's brazen rod. I do have safety glasses. This gotta be dangerous. Plan to scratch it on there and see what happens. The marks are evaporating. Let that cure. Hopefully I did it right. I'm hoping I did. It looks okay. It did. If it stuck, your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. The only way to know definitely is to pressure test it. My biggest concern is around that end here. Like, I don't know if I did a good job. I mean, if you're very particular, or I could have probably went around that side a little more. I think that's what they call OCD. I'm gonna leave those people who are OCD the way you are, and let's see what happens. It's the same Windex. Something I can get my hands on just to cool it down. Let's throw some air pressure in there and see what happens. Removing the gauges, putting the homemade device on here now. Adding the air pressure. That's just the air going into the low pressure side. I'm going to remove it. Now I'm going to spray some Windex on it, see if I did anything. It should bubble up. Even though it didn't do it last time, the air was pretty rapid. I think I've done something right. I got Purple Power. I think I probably should use that. Let me grab the Purple Power, see how that works. It's got a lot more soap suds going on. I should have used that originally. Oh yeah, I think we're good. That's 150 PSI. I think this is like a good fix. All right, for the sake of just seeing this is a legit fix, which I think it is, I'm gonna let it sit for an hour. What time is it now? I do need to take it on another test drive. It's 2:20. I'm gonna take it on a test drive and we'll come back with an hour and let you know what it is. The patch job looks pretty good. I want to see if it holds up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hose over top of it, and so if when that cold air intake rests on it, it'll rub all it wants, but it's not going to rub a hole back in that low pressure line. Here's the value here. So I thought it was 150. We're looking at right about 100 psi of air pressure in there. Let's see. Yeah, right about 95. So when I come back, we'll see if it's at 95, and we should be fine. Like I say, the static state on the low side is going to be more revealing of a telltale if it's going to hold or not than when it's working, because again, it's normally at 40 psi when it's under suction state because of how AC works. So let me show you what I did. I took some, I want to say this is 5/8. Yeah, 5/8 heater hose, I want to say. Cut it in the center. It's going to make a sleeve. Just like that. Put some zip ties over it. And it'll hold it in place. Let me show you the finished product. Here we go. So I got the hose and the zip ties on there. So when the intake sits on it, it can move all at once. It's just going to rub into the hose. And I think we'll be fine. I don't think this, for a year, I don't think I got anything to worry about. So let me do my test drive, and so I got to get about another 30 miles on it. Because again, when I put engines in vehicles, I test drive at 100 miles, recheck everything before I give it back. I don't want this thing coming back for a thing. I don't want to come back for anything. So I'm going to cover my end and show you the pressure, and we'll get the AC working. All right, it's been almost exactly an hour. Went on another test drive, got about 20 miles put back on it. So I want to say we're like around 53. We're gonna pull the valve off here and see how our pressures are. I just got a regular gauge now, but I should get my other gauge. So with this one, it should be somewhere around the center here. I'd imagine in the red. Oh yeah, awesome. I was estimating it should be about 90. So we're good. I'm gonna pull this out, the air out, vacuum it, and add some Freon. And I'll put the gauge to it and see how well it's working. Give me a minute. All right. Shut this vacuum pump off. Let's see what happens. Get everything out of it. I know I have some regular air in there. I know I've done some questionable patch jobs, like the old video I had did like 3 years ago. I had put a union in one of the refrigerant lines, and it was an old Chevy truck. I don't know if they're still working or not, but I will say this: I have a work truck also that I use to take stuff to the junkyard, and I didn't want to buy a high side pressure line, because on the old Chevys, what'll happen, the valve core will leak, and it's non-serviceable, so you would have to pull it out, pull the whole line out, and replace it. And I'm like, I need AC, so I put a union in it, and this was a couple years ago. They say the metal will react and cause some sort of erosion because of the brass and aluminum, how they react with one another. I never had any issues. It still work today, and it's been, I take it out to go kayaking, I take it out to ride around and whatever I need to do. If I do, again, to the junkyard and stuff. It's a work truck, a little small truck. So, you know, some things are online is unorthodox and shouldn't be done, but in practice, I mean, it works. So we got plenty in there now to activate the pressure switch. Let's see if the AC comes on and the fans. The AC kicked on, the compressor's on, the fans are on. Yeah. Working. And again, like I was saying, typically on the low side it's going to be around 40 anyway, so it's not going to supersede the 150 psi or air pressure. If it held 90, I'm sure it'll be fine with the 150ish, somewhere around about that. I didn't put the full 150 in there with compressed air. Besides, this is a liquid, but they say if it's airtight, then it should be watertight. Here we are. Oh, if you're curious, the car has 205,000 miles on it. So if you're curious, but let's see what we at now. I got it down to, compressor had kicked off short term. 43, but it's thermometer ain't that accurate. It was 41, 40. I have a mechanical one I could probably use, but 39 is fine. It's about 80 degrees out here today, so I mean, it's very comfortable, very comfortable. So I'm not going to complain about it. Hey, it's a patch job. It's a patch job. It was a diagnostic cost was pretty much essentially the cost of labor to repair, and the price of the part not included. So diagnostic cost and Freon didn't charge me anything to do it because it was very accessible. We'll see how long this work out, if anything happened, but I mean, he was on the same page. It was a patch job again. I don't know if I mentioned, he was like, hey, can we put tape over it? But he was dead serious about that. I'm like, tape is not going to hold this. Let me put a brazen, let me see if I can braze it and see what happened. So I put a brazen rod to it, and we have a little bit of success here. So if anything happens, I'll definitely update, but I know this is very unconventional. I totally know it's unconventional. I've been bashed on some of my other patch jobs, but I mean, this is, the customer's on the same page. I think it's like legit. I had a phone call, got a new car coming in. But yeah, if anything happened, I'll definitely update. Like I said, this is fixed. The AC's working real good. And yeah, so hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, had to register with my work. See you next one.